To the League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, where we attempt to apply logic and reason to religion and politics. I am here with my wonderful, beautiful co-host, Christy Santiago.
Hi guys, happy Friday. Welcome to the League. The League is so strong. I feel like we're a subset of Star Wars, just in its infancy. The League started in Ohio and Florida. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. And I also want to introduce, which we should do way more often, because there are three of us. You just can't see one because they may or may not exist in an upside down world. And that person's name is Nacho Witness. He is the producer, and he is also my personal Lord, L-O-R-T, and savior. And we just want to recognize our Nacho Witness. And also when you are talking to a very bright yellow LEAH podcast in our chat, that is also the Lord. So be careful, because the Lord is here. We have a crazy topic and one topic tonight, because it is like 3.5 decades to get to the information we have now. And I'm not going to do a history lesson. I was actually going to do a history lesson, and I realized that it's not important. What's important is what is happening right now. And so what we're going to focus on is that there is an organization called the OPCW. Its job is to collect and destroy chemical weapons. It was put together with states around the world who are equal in every sense. There are you cannot pay to be above. It doesn't matter if your GDP was, in the negative. If you are a member of OPCW, you are equal. That's how it started. And there's been some whistleblowers and some corruption. I would like to introduce a man. His name is Bastani, Jose Bastani. He's the former head of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which is OPCW. And he's been speaking out to support 2 veteran OPCW inspectors who challenged the U.S.-backed cover-up of the investigation in Syria. This is serious, very serious. Bastani, we're going to also kind of jump into how he reacts to the recent UK, USA, and France-led effort to prevent his testimony at the United Nations Security Council about the OPCW Syria cover-up scandal. And Bastani reveals new details of how he was targeted in the lead up to the Iraq war, when Bush and Cheney, who was running shit in their administration, engineered his ouster from the OPCW for impending its plans to invade, because he was a peacemaker. He's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. So has the OPCW. Bastani discloses the first time that his office was bugged by our government, the United States, and that the OPCW then head of security, a U.S. citizen, vanished right after all the bugging of his office was discovered. It's a case of history repeating itself, with the world's top superpower once again trying to silence a veteran diplomat from the global south whose courage and principle challenges pro-war deception. So he is from Brazil, and one of his main objectives to run, he was so excited to run an organization like this because in order to be a member of the OPCW, you could not. You had to, sign, and you're making an oath that you are not there to represent your personal country. It has nothing to do with you are not there for your country. What you're there for is to travel around the globe and get countries involved so that they can learn the basics of nuclear energy. Big pens need these basics. They can start these jobs and also power their nations, and we can move away from coal and fossil fuels. It is I know there's conspiracy talk behind nuclear energy. However, it is a better choice than the tar sands. It is. So, going around the world, not only was this part of the objective, but also his objective was to collect and destroy chemical weapons. OPCW was a part of when Russia went into Syria and collected all of their chemical weapons and destroyed them. So, what was the chemical weapon that Assad dropped on his people when he was just a couple days away from signing a peace deal? That wouldn't have done anything. But the rebels, who were being funded by the United States of America, France, and the UK. Now, they would love to get their hands on lots and lots of territory out there. They're resources that we need. And we even have documents, demonstrable documents. Look them up, of the U.S. Marine Special Ops fighting the U.S. Navy Special Ops because they're not communicating in Syria. So we're getting deaths this way. Like, it is a shit show over there. Now, this guy, I don't know how well you'll be able to see his face. I'm going to attach links, but he is the original. Oh, come on. He is the original. There you go. OPCW leader. I would like to read something from him real quick before we start. And it's, quote, "I took immense pride in the independence, impartiality, and professionalism of the OPCW's inspectors and wider staff in implementing the Chemical Weapons Convention. No state party was to be considered above the rest, and the hallmark of this organization's work was the even-handedness with which all member states were treated, regardless of size, regardless of political might, and regardless of economic clout." Jose Bustani, statement to the United Nations Security Council, October 2020. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal right now is because whistleblowers from the OPCW have come forth saying that the whole war in Iraq was a farce, which we know. And here's the information. And then on top of that, that's why Bustani got kicked out. So on top of that, now they've replaced people that were impartial, and America kind of does what they want. You know, Bustani was reelected unanimously a year before America ousted him out. And they ousted him out by John Bolton going to his office and telling him, you have 24 hours to resign. We know where your children are right now. I'm a parent. Where do I sign? These are gangsters. Gangsters.
Well,
So
he
go ahead.
didn't resign, right?
No, he said there
Yeah.
was absolutely zero reason that his record was spotless, and
Right.
that he just unanimously won 4 more years in his seat. He was not going to back down to them. But about 3 years into his first 4 years, leaks started coming out. Leaks that there's no way could have got out. Like him and his brother talking. Who's there? How could this get out? Well, he waited until the weekend and he called a friend who works in leaks and bugs and doing things for Secret Services. And behind the wall, behind his office, was packed full of tech. He had been spied on by the guy who was second in command of him for 3 years, because Bastani was trying to make sure that Iraq and Iran could join the OPCW and be part of this united world of. Go ahead, Mac.
Oh, I was just going to say it was his direct security advisor.
Right.
It was the security advisor of the
Yes.
OCPD who was American.
Right.
And then what? Go ahead and tell them what happened like that next Monday.
Right. Okay, so this had to happen during the weekend, finding all the stuff in the wall. So on Monday, when all the workers start coming in and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with your wall? And he has to kind of explain without explaining, because he's obviously being spied on. Now, the superpowers that be, obviously, in anyone's rational mind, it would be it's US, UK, or France, because they're the ones pulling the strings. Most likely it's US. Now, this guy didn't show up for work on Monday. So he called to see where he was, because his room was full of tech. That's what he was. That's what he did. He was the security. He was sent to another country. And so, of course, Busani, Germany, right, said, why would that happen? He was irate. He said, I am his direct subordinate. He is he does nothing without my say-so. And he has never been seen again. He never came back. He just disappeared. Now, to fast forward to these trials that are going on right now. In Syria, we all recall, Mac and I covered this within the last 2 years, there have been bombings, chemical weapons being used in Duma. And what the evidence points out is that that's not true, that it was necessarily chemical weapons. However, it could have been chemical weapons. We just don't know which ones they are. And the ones that they're saying they are, there's no way, because we have evidence of what those chemical weapons do. If you do that chlorine gas, rinsing kids' faces off with water, one after another with the same rag, all standing in the same room, and then giving them a puff of albuterol, giving them a puff of that, that's not how any of that works. And that's the video we got. Now, these people who worked at the OPCW did their work and said that's not what happened. And so, because when you go to work for a corporation or an institution or a nonprofit or whatever you want to call the OPCW, that because of what it's become. You do sign an NDA. You are never allowed to talk about anything that happens in your job. You're just not. So by being a whistleblower, you are breaking the law. However, our Constitution allows for whistleblowing under certain circumstances. And this is definitely that type of circumstance. He showed up to these trials with hundreds of signatures of people who agree with him and are on his side and are on the whistleblower side, that no, the Americans had zero right to preemptively bomb Syria, nor did France, nor did the UK. Now, all three, USA, France, and the UK, are blocking him. He's not allowed to talk. They said anything he has to say doesn't mean anything. He was discredited during the Iraq War. When you just take that statement, discredited during the Iraq War, and go back and look at facts, what he said was what happened. He was actually proven correct about it. So why wouldn't we want to listen to someone who had something so right? He was actually ousted from the institution because they had chosen to go into a country that didn't attack us, and we couldn't do anything about it. So they ousted him. Now, they are not allowing him to talk, and they're not allowing these whistleblowers to talk. And I have looked up this topic in many different wordings and many different sayings on mainstream media to see if it's being discussed. And I did see a 2.5 minute kind of, the OPCW is doing trials about the Duma chemical attacks. On to the next news on CNN. That was it. So I feel that if people knew this, if this was on the headline of New York Times, of the Washington Post, of newspapers everywhere, and on the news, I mean, Mac, you watched it. It's fucking mind-blowing how they treated him. There were times you could see when he was being interviewed that he couldn't even make eye contact because he was so nervous. And at one point he even said, I've never said this before. Yes, the Americans were spying on me. Like, it's terrifying. They could take him out anytime they want. And they know where his kids are, they told him, because he wasn't helping or stepping out of the way of them offensively attacking and then colonizing. I mean, let's call it what it is. We're still there. That's colonizing. That's, you invade and then you set up posts everywhere. That's what we did. So I will be sharing. Hopefully it won't be just something that you guys save and never get to. I really, really hope that you, I will put it in, there's 2 conversations that I want you to listen to. One is this main one. The second one is with a guy who actually doesn't agree with all of the narratives. So you get a devil's advocate. He also has agreed with some conspiracy theories that I don't agree with because they're proven conspiracy theories. However, it's good to get more information, and he does ask good questions. So I will attach both of those underneath and in the chat. And I wanted to tell you about how the OPCW, by the numbers, 193 states, countries committed to the Chemical Weapons Convention. 98% of the global population live under the protection of the convention. 98% of the chemical weapons stockpiled declared by possessor states have been verifiably destroyed, and that's been done by the OPCW. So when the OPCW is doing its job, it's out there being impartial, treating everyone correctly, and getting in the way of a nation that is an empire, bad things happen. I do I have a couple more things that I did want to add. Let's see, where did he say? Bustani, okay. He has so successfully cajoled reluctant nations that the number of signatories has risen from just 87 to 145 in just the past 5 years under when he was leading. So from 87 nation states to 145 joined under his leadership, the fastest growth rate in any multilateral body in recent times. In May 2000, as a tribute to his extraordinary record, Bustani was re-elected unanimously by the member states for a second 5-year term, even though he had yet to complete his first one. The last year, Colin Powell wrote him to thank him. Now, Bush had just became president, and Colin Powell is writing him this letter to tell him thank you and how very impressive he was and how impressed he was with his work. But then everything changed. Well, hello. That's my daughter, Isabel, giving me smooches.
Hi, Izzy. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you, Matt.
And Bean. It's all about Bean.
Hi, Bean. I'm sorry, Bean. I didn't mean to ignore you.
How dare you? So the OPCW's mission is to implement the provisions of a chemical weapons convention to achieve our vision of a world free of chemical weapons and the threat of their use, in which chemistry is used for peace and progress and prosperity. So they are not against nuclear at all. They're actually they're for using it for progress. And I follow this stuff. This was one of the organizations, and God, it was so exciting in ninth grade, talking about it in government class about how this was a big thing. The Germany's East and West was about to crumble. We want to get rid of chemical weapons. All these new things were happening, and they picked the best people to run it. And what happened was they were too impartial. They were too honest. And if these whistleblowers are not allowed to have people speak up for them from the outside who know the truth and can demonstrate it, they're going to be charged for treason, and that means death. Also, chemical weapons aren't going anywhere. So we need organizations like this, and we need to know that we can trust them. I know for a fact that after they ousted the last 2 OCPW leaders, the newest one that was in, there's none of them have met the 5 humans who are investigating this chemical weapons attack. And one of those 5 has actually even been to Syria. But he didn't go to Duma. They kicked out all of the people who actually were doing that. And there are hours and hours and hours, and you can watch them themselves, of right after the attack, of people on the street, regular people who live there. It came from the sky. It was not Assad. And it has, when weapons are made, they say things like Lockheed Martin, USA. It didn't, Assad does not buy, crappy, someone made them in the shed. No,
God only buys American.
No, most countries, yes. There are many nations, unfortunately, that are in the weapons. Saudi Arabia is included, and we work very closely with them in Israel. Israel, Saudi Arabia, and America are like the 3 musketeers.
Did you say Saudi Arabia was included or exclusive?
Included.
Okay.
And actually exclusive, because they can get away with, they have lots of desert out there. Yeah. So they can.
Can we say that about the government of Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia, there's news from Saudi Arabia. I'm glad you just mentioned that and reminded me. Okay, so when Obama was president and there was going to be a deal between the Saudis and weapons companies, Obama and our administration pressured him to say, well, if women can't drive, then no deal. And we did. And it happened. And women can drive. However, we had an election here. And elections have consequences. And since then, every one of those women who were activists who started this movement are being tortured and in prison. And one just got re-arrested. Now, women are allowed to drive. They're just being punished because over here, where we could actually say, we're not going to do business with you as the biggest economy on the planet, we're not going to do shit with you unless you stop that shit. She got 148 lashings. They raped them. It had nothing to do with tonight's topic, but yeah, that was news that came in yesterday. You speak for a minute and I will share both of these in our chat.
You just want me to talk? Just kind of fill space?
Just jibber jabber, blah, blah, blah. You can do some Trump. You can you can play a guitar.
Ooh, I'm
make me swoon. This is how I swoon.
I've been thinking about what I'm going to play, because I will play something sometime soon. And I know what I'm going to play. I just need to practice first. So, anyways, that said, I just want to comment, like, this really is quite the captivating story. There's all facets of it, really, and this is something that's developing.
Yes.
Right. This has been developing for years. We just keep getting more and more information, slowly but surely.
Yes.
And none of the new information ever makes us look good, and that's really a pity. This is an organization that's supposed to be fair and help promote peace, and we take advantage of that. Our country and our tax dollars take advantage of that, and it's really a sad thing. Christy did a fine job just filling you in on all of it. I don't have anything to add. It really is pitiful though. It really is. And to
It
see
is.
John.
Listen to this. Okay, so after he got ousted, right? He got ousted. The OCPW, there are quotes out there saying that Bustani, this one guy, has done more in the 5 years he was at the OPCW to create world peace than every other activist ever in the history. Like that's amazing. And to be able to put your differences aside and say, okay, I'm going into a country that treats women like crap. There's child labor. I understand. However, my job is not to judge them. My job is to make a better world. And they are humans. Ignorance they're victims. They're, they didn't choose that. They're a victim, and he saw that, and he didn't treat them as victims. He treated them as human beings who deserved a chance to have an active economy, a chance to have science and math and be treated the same as the United States of America. That was the whole point of putting it together. So I did put both of them in the chat. The first one is the one that I'm begging all of you guys to watch. If you are as interested as I was, watch the second one. You'll get some pushback from the guy that's interviewing him, because Aaron Mate goes on someone else's channel to get questioned about it, which I love, that. I love the back and forth. And it's respectful, very respectful. Just two guys that are very informed in foreign policy, and which I've been working on a lot. I think foreign policy is, I would probably bet close to 80% of grown American adults don't have a clue about what actual foreign policies are and who they hurt, and that there is this fact that is so immoral that it turns my stomach. In order to have a first world, you must have a third world. So there's no such thing as a moral empire. It just cannot be. We have to all realize that we are all worthy of the same exact, the planet, it happened. We're here. And I love being part of LEAH and being able to bring stories like this. This scares the shit out of me, because America, France, and UK can go into a actual hearing that is supposed to be impartial, and be told that he's not even allowed to be heard. So if you have nothing to hide, if what you're saying is true, then what is it going to hurt to let some people come in and tell their side of the story? Come on. And there's this OPCW was so well known and respected even during the Bush years, when he was death squads and all kinds of crap across the in the Middle East. Saddam Hussein, he was double crossed. Well, what happened was he was supposed to be getting inspected, and UN inspectors came in who were American, probably French and UK. I cannot confirm the other two, only the Americans. But the Americans were caught lying and saying that they were there for UN inspection, and they were not. They were spying. So because of that, Saddam would no longer, and I'm not a Saddam apologist by any fucking means. He's a horrible, horrible person. However, truth and lies and horrible, they can all be true at the same time. The only institution that him and others like him would allow in to get an honest inspection would be the OPCW, because they would be respected as a human being. And it would be hard for me to treat someone like Saddam Hussein as an average human being, knowing that he has slaves and beats them and beheads people. However, if I took a job and that job's title was to do everything by any means necessary to create peace and create nothing that is the opposite of that, I mean, I want you to watch that video. He is so prideful and he is so proud of the work he did there. And he's also a classical pianist. He chose to do this because it was so needed at the time. And it just shows you that, you know, if you live in an area and there is a spot, local, political, that's open and no one wants to do it, do it. Sign up for it. And maybe you'll lose. You probably will. It'll be your first time. But your name will get out there. And if no one's going to do it, someone's going to do it. And I want this guy's story told. I want whistleblowers to be protected. I want our international courts to be what they were supposed to be. Impartial international courts. Has nothing to do with this story. However, it does have to do with international impartial.
Yeah.
I heard some people who are very upset that Trump won. Wink, wink, wink. That he lost. They're very, very sad about it. And they just cannot get over that our ballots get checked by other countries. They think that like it should be completely nationalized and we should only keep it here. Are you crazy? No, we need to have like Germany and Estonia and two others that all have different, histories of having honest elections. And then when they're done, be able to see how they compare. And then we have an actual answer that's impartial. Go for it, Mac.
I don't like to say this outright very often, but this is a perfect time to say it. This country is so indoctrinated. There's so many.
Yes.
And I know I've mentioned it before, at least like my reasoning for saying this is just like everyone understands that I'm an anti-theist. And I have an issue with doctrinal thinking in general, not just religious, like nationalism, right? Racism, anything where you really...
Supremacy.
Yeah, supremacy. Yeah, where there's a superior...
Supremacy of any type to me is vile. Yeah. If a book tells you that a certain people are better than all others, burn it. If a group of people tell you that another group of people are better because of their hair or because of their skin, do some science research. A human is a human, and there is one race of humans on this planet, and we come in beautiful shades of human. We have all types of beautiful human hair, all heights and weights and shapes and colors of eyes. But we're all humans. And supremacy, especially what Mac is talking about, biblical supremacy, where, the Jews, gotta say it sounds so conspiratorial. They do believe they're the chosen people and that everybody else is, and that's a blanket statement. And I don't mean that for all. I have many Jewish friends who grew up Jewish. They're culturally Jewish. They do not believe in any of that. However, their book, the Torah, does say that I am worth nothing and can be raped and used as a slave when a Jewish girl wouldn't be able to. That's supremacy. It's
And that's not fair to me.
disgusting.
Why do you get to have all the fun? It's not fair.
Well,
Uh,
actually, I'm a kitty cat. And if I wanted to, I could just start knocking shit off this table and no one could do anything about it. And then I could put my butt right in your face.
right in the screen. He's done it before, people. No, I do want to give the other side of that, though, just for whatever's sake, I suppose. Because she mentioned the Jews. I also want to point out the opposite side of that, of who really brought modern Christianity, through the centuries, and I would say that would be the Catholics, right?
Definitely.
And because of the Catholics,
And the Protestants, yeah, after the Catholics.
well, yeah, but yeah, the Catholics like did it first and made it. What would you call that?
And the mystery religions that went into the Catholicism, that went into the Protestants. And hey, you guys, how many presidents have we had? Why don't you just Google how many presidents have been white Protestants? Give that a Google. You will be blown away because it's nearly 100%.
Yeah. But what I wanted to point out is that the Catholics are the ones who really pushed the narrative that the Jews killed Jesus. So that's why everyone hated the Jews for so long. But those who seek power.
Hold on. You know what that was about, real quick? That it was a political move.
Go for it.
Because the people were uprising. Rome it was crazy. And, when a government is having problems with its people wanting to uprise, they need a boogeyman. And if they can keep them separated, they no longer need a boogeyman. So that helped them a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. The history, me and the history. There's way more to it, but in the tiniest nutshell you ever seen, that was.
Yeah. I feel like I was going to say something else, and I have forgotten it. So it no longer matters. Do you have anything else to add to this part of our conversation, man? Oh, I do remember now. I take it back. I do remember. I don't remember the good doctor's name, or not doctor, the director.
The director's name. Give me 1 second, and I will tell you. His name is Bustani. Bustani.
Bustani? Okay, I'm sorry to pull it.
He's the pianist who also became the director of the OPCW.
Yes. I wanted to point out because I thought this was an interesting part of the story, and I'll just put two things kind of together. With everything that was going on with John Bolton, yeah, he didn't back down, but it ended up being his plan was to win the votes and then step down. He didn't want to be voted out or just resign in that way.
Yeah, he wanted to give it to him like one last time, because people did not want him to leave. And how that went was 43 countries voted to get him out. 6 countries voted for him to stay, and 48 nations abstained. They did not even want to vote. So I'm not a math genius, but 48 plus 6 does equal more votes that did not want to see him go than did. And America is an empire, and an empire is a scary thing when they hold, sanction power and can really easy. I mean, think about it. Maduro won an election, and our government's first thoughts were make Venezuela's economy scream.
Yeah, make them suffer. Just like
Yeah.
it's like that old phrase, something about walking around with a big stick. Except America modifies their big sticks, their big 2x4s, so the 2x4s can fucking shoot too. It's the scary thing. Anyways,
well, they've got to carry their Bible too.
They do.
Yeah, so
it's just like wood burned into the 2x4.
Right. I mean, they haven't read it, but they need to carry it because
they can write it, they just don't read it. Right. So what Bustani had done, since he lost the vote and he felt this was unfair, he went and got like a tribunal
yes
hearing. I forget with who.
International court. He took the government and the OPCW to court, international court, for firing him, and he won.
And he got.
Yeah, he got a huge sum of money. However, then the next settlement came in, and he wrote to them, if perchance this next win that I won comes with a big sum of money, I want all of it to go back to the OPCW for funding, because he said the USA would, on a every 24-hour basis, threaten him with the funding, because USA funded between 40 and 45% of the funding for OPCW. So that's almost half. You cut that out, you have no organization, you have no institution. So he wanted all of it to go back to, like, he's just what we need, and he is being blocked out by fascists. And I'm not using that word lightly. These are people who are trying to hide the fact that there is zero evidence for what the US, France, and UK are claiming happened. The reason what they're claiming happened as the reason they had to go in and bomb innocent people.
Yeah.
So it's massive. Please pay attention. I talked to 3 people this week that live in my apartment complex, and none of them had ever even heard of the OPCW. I talked to 2 online, and one of them had said, yeah, but what is this, another alphabet? Like, when did it start? I'm not supposed to trust these. And I'm just like, it's not the CIA. Oh gosh, please, we have to. It was so important to do this show. And there's no way I can give you the 4 decades worth of information. But if you watch just the one where Aaron Mate, an investigative journalist who I fact check him just because it's fun, and I'm always delighted to find that he left stuff out because he was trying to write an article. So I learn even more from fact checking him, which is great. Watch this, because this guy, you can see moments where he is terrified. This, like, his first time of on screen saying, yes, the Americans threatened me. Yes, they ousted me. They had already chosen the country they were going to retaliate against after 9/11, and it had nothing to do with what happened. And they knew where my children were. Like, and then that was then. Now we're here with Syria, and it's happening again, and we need to speak out. Then we didn't all have phones in our hands, and we couldn't do this. We can now. So start telling people, hey, do you know about the trials that are going on about the alleged chemical attacks that there's no evidence for? Yeah. And then start, maybe put little pebbles in their shoes, plant little seeds. Let's get people talking. And I love you guys for showing up. I really do. This is I have for 2 weeks read as much as I can about the OPCW from its beginning, all the awards. It's been up for the Nobel Peace Prize, which we know as of late has turned into, almost just ironic because they gave one to Obama after he became a war criminal. I get it, guys. I can believe in two things at once. The thing he got it for was good. It really was. However, his drone program was bad. And whenever someone who likes Trump brings up, well, remember Obama's drone program, I want you to tell them, yes, I do. And I had a problem with it. And what I have a problem with Trump about it is he amped it up 480%. So that's the numbers. And those are a fact.
Yep.
And I guess.
Amen.
Amen. Ramen.
Hyman.
Hi. Best one.
That's the one. All right. So, are we ready to move on a little bit?
Yep, we are.
All right. Well, let's do this. We're going to end on a little bit of a lighter note. I have some fun facts and some fun tweets for you, y'all.
Yay.
Yay. All right. So, we're going to go straight to the tweet of God, because I've been meaning to do this like every week or every other, and I just haven't been up on it. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here, find some good ones. November 18th, God said 250,000 Americans have died of COVID, but Trump would like a recount.
I just took a bite of a chicken nugget and you almost made me die.
I saw that. Please say unmuted so I can hear you laugh. It's way funnier this way. November 17th. Heaven is blue, hell is red. Just saying. Life is a near-death experience that gets nearer every day. I like that one.
I like it.
Also on November 17th, he did a lot that day. God was busy. White, black, brown, yellow, man, woman, transgender, gay, straight, Democrat, Republican, young, old, all of you taste the same to me. Or taste the same to zombies. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was like, oh goodness.
Either way is funny. Mine might have been funnier.
I think Yahweh stood for cannibal. Hannibal, I mean.
Yeah. I haven't read this one yet, but it looks good. I told Jesus not to come home to me for Thanksgiving because I was worried about his health. He asked me why I hadn't felt that way about Good Friday. Touche. Fantastic.
Pretty funny.
The masked shall inherit the earth. It's a good one. That was November 25th. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Diamond and Silk says it ain't over until God says it's over.
Oh wow.
God's response: it's over. And so is your shtick. Oh, I loved this one. This is the one I was kind of looking for, and then I was going to go up again. George Carlin is trending. He should never be trending. He's my me. He is my guy.
I do like Carlin.
Yeah, I love Carlin. a big club and you ain't in it. You know, I don't hate humanity. I just feel like they wasted a lot of potential. And I don't feel like I have any stock in it. Like when I talk about it, to an audience, I put that shit on them.
I remember.
I listened to some recently. Excuse me.
Mm.
There's no vaccine against stupid, and if there were, the stupid wouldn't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've never met a smart anti-vaxxer, so.
Tweet of God, December 2nd. I'm an atheist. On days I lack self-confidence.
That's really funny, God.
This is. There is a Trump vaccine, and America is getting it on January 20th.
Sorry, it was organic.
Also on January 2nd, retweet this for a full pardon.
Oh, goodness.
I love that. I'm going to roll back down. Oh, also on January 2nd, there's nothing more satisfying as a parent than to be able to presidentially pardon your kids. Coming from
Mm-hmm. I think we should definitely have enough information next week for me to go over that little ditty.
Sweet. That sounds good. I have something I want to go over too, and I can't remember what it is right off the bat. I'll probably remember it before we're done.
It was my booty.
I was going to cover that.
It was. I remember.
Yeah, my bad. How could I forget? Also, my followers are the worst. In real life, I mean, you guys are okay.
I love it.
Opinions were the worst idea I ever had. December 3rd.
Yeah. We gotta find out who this dude is, or dudette.
It's God.
Wow.
He's a transgender.
It's a mysterious.
I don't know. Whatever you say.
A mystery we should never know.
If December 3rd, if the pandemic has taught America one thing, I'd be stunned. From from Right Wing Watch, former Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann has a personal request for God. Lord, would you allow Donald Trump to have a second term as president of the United States? And there's a video of her doing this.
Oh, no.
He did? No.
Oh, no.
Answering prayers and everything. Alrighty. Don't forget that over at the Tweet of God, God is an INT Jehovah. Love that. And right up there by his pronouns, thee, thou, and thine. If you guys ever need a little giggle, go over to the Tweet of God on Twitter.
Or a big giggle. You'll get some big ones too.
A couple other fun facts. I don't do this often, but this is mostly for me. So everyone, calm down. I'm not gonna entertainment tonight, you guys. But famous birthdays coming up here in the next 26 minutes, at least where we are on December 5th, are Frankie Muniz. I thought everyone should know that. Walt Disney. Mm-hmm. And I always remember this date because my favorite music artist, John Rzeznik, singer of the Goo Goo Dolls. Yes, I'm a little lame. It's his birthday, and I always remember it. But it's cool. This is also Walt Disney's. It's not particularly cool that it's Frankie Muniz's. And I guess Wolfgang Mozart died that day, and it's also International Ninja Day. So dope as shit. November 5th is pretty
Mac is an actual ninja. BT dubs for anyone listening. I know for a fact. He's got his ninja card. He teaches how to be a ninja. It just so happens he teaches little people how to be ninjas. But you have to be a ninja to teach it. So
Yeah,
I would
true.
be safe walking down a dark alley with Ninja Mac, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Would.
Unless they had a gun. Gun's bad.
No, it's still
Or
bad.
a gun and a Bible. Maybe we can work something out then. Smack him with the Bible, take the gun. And then run.
I'll take both, beat him with one.
Yeah, you'll do a leg sweep. I'll do a Bible smack. We'll do some comic book actions. Whack, smack, pow.
Pow. All right, that's all I have for you guys. I was hoping to leave you guys with a couple laughs. I hope that did the trick.
And a Mr. Bean.
Oh, Bean, Mr. Bean.
Look how cute he is. He's just so cute and little, and I love him. And he's got hurricanes. Look, he's got a hurricane and a hurricane. And oh wait, he's got those on his neck too. It's gonna be hard to see, but he's got a swirly on both sides of his neck.
Yeah, I see him.
His little hurricanes.
All you can see from here is big ears. They're massive. I swear he can hear Tokyo from here.
I love you, my little best friend. You know
You
what?
can at least hear El Paso. So
Definitely, he can.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Happy Friday. Thanks for hanging out with us on your Friday. We love hanging out with you guys so much. And be humanist, for God's sake.